Anna Price, 28, stood in her childhood bedroom as the October sunlight warmed the soft pastel walls. She smoothed the front of her wedding dress, trying to steady her breathing before the biggest moment of her life. Her father, John Price, knocked gently and walked in wearing that familiar confident smile she had grown up with. "Sweetheart, I need a father-daughter moment before you walk out of this house as a married woman," he said. Despite his controlling nature, Anna followed him into the hallway, hoping today would finally change everything between them. John's polished shoes tapped against the long hallway as he led Anna toward his study, a room she rarely entered without permission. "Dad, shouldn't we be getting ready to leave for the church?" she asked softly. He dismissed her question with a careless wave. "A moment won't hurt anything. This is important." Something uneasy settled in Anna's chest, but she tried to ignore it. Living under John's rules had always felt like being trapped inside a beautiful house with invisible bars. Still, she hoped marriage would finally give her a taste of freedom she'd only imagined. Growing up as John Price's only daughter meant that perfection was not optional. Their Connecticut mansion sparkled with luxury, shining marble floors, framed paintings worth fortunes, and rooms arranged with magazine-level precision. But beneath that beauty lived a man who cared only about image. "Grace matters," he always said. "Weakness reflects poorly on this family." At 8, he forced Anna into ballet because wealthy families needed refined daughters. At 12, when she begged to join soccer, he lectured her for hours. Every friend needed his approval. Every decision belonged to him. Anna survived by quietly dreaming of escape. Her mother, Laura Price, had once softened everything. She bought Anna sketchbooks when John demanded economics textbooks. She whispered, "Your dreams matter," after each of his long lectures. But when Laura died from cancer at 15, the house changed. John tightened control over everything: her friendships, her classes, her phone, her future. When Anna secretly applied to art school and received a scholarship, John shredded the acceptance letter in front of her. "You're going to business school," he said coldly. Fighting him felt impossible. Silence became her only form of protection. At business school, Anna survived through small rebellions. She paid cash for secret art lessons so they wouldn't appear on John's bank statements. She dated a quiet science student named Alex for a few months, but secrecy crushed the relationship. 2 years later, she met Ryan Carter at her friend Megan's birthday party. He stood alone, reading a book instead of socializing. His calm energy drew her instantly. They talked for hours about life, art, and purpose. When Ryan asked for her number, Anna gave it without hesitation, the first bold choice she'd made in years. Ryan told Anna early in their relationship that he worked as a government analyst, though he kept the details purposely vague. "Some things I can't discuss," he explained gently during their third date. Anna didn't mind. His honesty about the limits felt refreshing compared to John's constant secrecy. She told Ryan about her father, expecting judgment or fear, but he simply said, "Everyone deserves to be loved for who they truly are." For months they dated quietly, meeting in small cafes and quiet museums. Every moment felt stolen but real, a small piece of freedom Anna had never known before. Eventually, Anna couldn't live divided between secrecy and truth. One night she gathered courage and told John about Ryan. The reaction was immediate and harsh. "A government salary," John scoffed. "He can't provide the life you deserve." He criticized Ryan's middle-class background and dismissed him without meeting him. But Ryan surprised both of them by asking for a formal dinner. He arrived wearing a perfectly tailored suit, speaking confidently about business, strategy, and future goals. John studied him with unexpected curiosity. By dessert, Ryan had earned a small, rare smile from him. It was the beginning of a long game. For the next 18 months, Ryan worked patiently to win John's approval. He attended dull country club events, memorized details about John's business partners, and even learned golf to join them on Saturdays. Anna watched him transform into someone controlled yet strategic. In private, Ryan reassured her. This is temporary. I'm working towards something you'll understand in time. When he proposed at the National Gallery, right in front of the painting they'd admired on their fourth date, Anna said yes without hesitation. Surprisingly, John supported the engagement with more enthusiasm than anyone expected. Almost too much enthusiasm. John insisted on planning nearly everything about the wedding. He pushed the guest list from 75 to 300. He changed the venue from the botanical garden Anna loved to his prestigious country club. Image matters, he repeated. He approved every vendor, every decoration, even Anna's dress. Red flags rose everywhere, but Anna ignored them, desperate to believe her father was finally accepting her choices. He held private meetings with Ryan about financial preparation, meetings Ryan later described as intense and strangely probing. Still, Anna focused on love, choosing to believe everything would settle once she was married. The week before the wedding, John's behavior shifted. He made constant phone calls behind closed doors and ended every conversation the moment Anna entered the room. He met with lawyers twice and claimed he was updating his will. He flew in business partners from overseas, saying they happened to be available, though his tension suggested otherwise. Anna's maid of honor, Megan, noticed too. Something's off, she whispered during a manicure session. But Anna brushed it aside. It's just wedding stress, she said. She had no idea her father was preparing something far darker than simple nerves. On the morning of the wedding, Anna woke at 6 as makeup artists transformed her childhood bedroom into a small salon. Her bridesmaids helped her into the expensive gown John had chosen, a dress that felt more like a costume than something she wanted. As the makeup artist set her lipstick, John knocked on the door. His expression was tight, almost forced. "Princess, before you leave this house, we need a moment," he said softly. Megan noticed the strain in his face and whispered, "Are you sure?" But Anna, wanting peace, nodded and followed him downstairs. Walking down the marble staircase in her wedding dress felt surreal. Caterers rushed in the kitchen. Florists arranged blossoms in the hall. Everything looked ready for a beautiful day, yet something in John's energy felt wrong. He led her toward his study at the back of the house, a room filled with heavy leather chairs and walls lined with framed achievements. Anna forced a smile. "Dad, we really need to leave soon," she reminded him gently. Instead of answering, John opened the study door with unusual formality and gestured for her to enter. The air inside felt colder. Two unfamiliar men stood beside John's desk, Mr. Chen from Singapore and Mr. Hassan from Dubai, business partners she had met only at formal dinners. Their presence confused her. "Why are they here?" she whispered. Before she could step back, the door clicked shut behind her, the lock sliding loudly into place. Ice ran through her body. John moved behind his desk, fingers tracing the wood as if preparing for a speech. "Anna, they are here to witness an important lesson about loyalty," he said. "Today you learn the cost of betrayal." Her stomach twisted. Nothing about this felt normal. John's voice turned sharp. "I know everything," he said. "The documents you photographed, the files you passed to Ryan, the investigation you helped him start." Anna blinked in shock. "Dad, those documents were for Ryan to understand your business before he joined the family. Nothing more." But John laughed, a sound colder than the marble floors. "You think I don't know when federal analysts look into my accounts? I have contacts everywhere." He opened a drawer and pulled out electric clippers. The buzzing filled the room. Anna's knees weakened. "Dad, this is my wedding day," she pleaded. Before she could move, Mr. Chen stepped behind her, gripping her shoulders. Mr. Hassan grabbed her wrists. The bouquet slipped from her hands, scattering white roses across the rug. John approached slowly, testing the clippers. "Your husband must understand that marrying you means accepting my authority," he said. "And you must learn that rebellion has a price." Anna felt terror rising in her throat. "Dad, please. Let's talk about this later. The church is waiting. Ryan is waiting." But John only smiled. The ceremony will wait. Respect must come first. The clippers hummed beside her ear. The first pass of the clippers sent strands of her carefully styled hair falling across her dress. Anna gasped as the cold air touched her scalp. John continued methodically, narrating each pass. This is for the Wallace files. This is for the overseas accounts. This is for thinking you could deceive me. Her tears streamed down her cheeks, ruining the makeup she had spent hours perfecting. She tried kicking free, but the men tightened their grip. John looked almost proud, as if her humiliation proved something. His eyes held no love, only dominance. In 10 minutes her head was bare. John stepped back, admiring his work like an artist finishing a painting. He snapped photos from several angles. "Insurance," he said casually. "If you think of betraying me again, these go to every guest." He tilted her chin up, forcing her to meet his eyes. "Now you will walk down that aisle showing the world what happens when my daughter forgets her place." Anna sat frozen, trembling. The veil she planned to wear now seemed useless without hair. When John finally left the room, he locked the door behind him, leaving her alone with the sharp scent of fear. When the door closed, Anna stumbled to the mirror on the wall. Her breath caught. The bride she'd been minutes before was gone. In the reflection she saw a stranger, scalp exposed, eyes red, makeup streaked, dress covered in fallen hair. The sight broke her. She sank into the leather chair, hands shaking. "How could he?" she whispered. She tried the landline, but it required a code. She tried the windows, but they were sealed. Time blurred. Minutes felt like hours. She feared no one would come. Everyone upstairs assumed she was with her father. She felt completely trapped. The doorknob rattled suddenly. Anna's heart jumped, expecting John returning for more torment. But instead, Ryan burst inside, still wearing his tuxedo, breathing hard as if he'd been running. His eyes widened when he saw her shaved head. He rushed to her, dropping to his knees. "Anna, oh God!" She collapsed into his arms, sobbing. He held her tightly. "I'm here. I'm here." Behind him stood his brother Daniel and 2 serious-looking men. Ryan whispered, "I didn't say anything yet. Just let me hold you first." His hands were gentle on her face, wiping tears she couldn't stop. "Ryan, how did you know something was wrong?" she whispered. He cupped her cheeks. "Because your father walked into the church without you and claimed you had bridal nerves." "You nervous?" He shook his head. "And Megan checked your phone location. It never left this house." His expression shifted from sorrow to cold calculation. "Your father gave us exactly what we needed." Anna blinked in confusion. "Needed? Ryan, my life is falling apart." Daniel stepped forward. "Anna, Ryan isn't just an analyst. He's a field operative investigating your father." Anna's breath caught as everything shifted again. Anna stared at Ryan, stunned. "You've been investigating my father," she whispered. Ryan nodded, eyes full of worry. "I work in financial crimes. We've watched John for 2 years. Money laundering, shell companies, bribes. When I met you, I didn't know you were his daughter. By the time I realized, I was already in love." Her world spun. "So you lied to me." He shook his head firmly. "I hid my full job, yes. But my love was never a lie. And today he crossed a line we can use against him. For your safety and for justice." One of the men, a serious-looking agent named Tom, held up a small device. "We checked this room. No hidden bugs. But his phone is transmitting everything," he explained. "He's been recording his own crimes for insurance." Daniel added, "Your father falsely imprisoned you, assaulted you, and tried to blackmail you with photos. That gives us legal grounds to seize his devices and move now." Anna sank back into the chair, overwhelmed. Ryan took her hands. He wanted total control. Instead, he just handed us the proof we needed to finally bring him down. Daniel set a large bag on the desk. "Mom's on her way with the emergency kit." She says she needs 30 minutes, he said. Anna blinked. Emergency kit. Ryan managed a small smile. My mother, Claire, spent 20 years as a lead makeup artist on Broadway. She's dealt with every kind of disaster. Actors losing hair, sudden costume changes, everything. I called her from the church. Anna's hand flew to her bare scalp. Ryan, look at me. How can I walk down the aisle like this? He squeezed her fingers. You won't walk as a victim. You'll walk as a warrior. Moments later, a woman in her 50s with sharp eyes and gentle hands rushed into the study carrying a heavy makeup case. Oh, sweetheart, Claire said softly when she saw Anna. That man tried to take your power. We're not going to let him win. She snapped open her kit, immediately turning John's desk into a professional station. First we clean, she said, wiping away smeared makeup and tears. Then we transform. Claire pulled out small bottles of shimmering body paint. These designs photograph beautifully. Think of it as armor, not decoration. He shaved your head. We'll crown it instead. As Claire began painting delicate patterns across Anna's scalp, the door opened again. Megan and the other bridesmaids rushed in, faces pale with worry. They froze when they saw Anna, then their expressions changed, from shock to fury to admiration. He did this, Megan demanded, fists clenched. Good. Now we destroy him, she added darkly. Claire continued working, steady and calm. Swirls and shapes formed into something bold and beautiful. Part crown, part shield. The designs framed Anna's face, drawing attention to her eyes instead of the loss. Look at you, Megan breathed. He thought he broke you. He just made you unforgettable. Claire placed a delicate metal headpiece on top of the painted patterns, a rose gold crown that didn't need hair to stay in place. When Anna finally looked in the mirror, she didn't see a ruined bride. She saw someone fierce, someone remade. Your father expected shame, Claire said, closing her kit. Instead, he created a symbol. Daniel stepped back into the room, phone to his ear. The team is in position, he reported. FBI agents are mixing with the guests. Greens are ready. The minister is briefed. Once you arrive, we move. Ryan gave Anna a gentle, steady smile. Ready. The drive to the church felt like crossing from one life into another. Anna sat between Megan and Claire in the back seat, fingers curled around her bouquet. She caught her reflection in the window. No veil covering her head this time, only painted strength and a crown. Outside, the church loomed, beautiful and calm. Inside, tension waited. Your father doesn't know anything yet, Ryan said from the front seat. He thinks you're at home crying. Anna exhaled slowly. He always thought I'd bend, she murmured. He never imagined I'd stand. When the car stopped, Megan squeezed her hand. Let's go prove him wrong. In the bridal room above the sanctuary, Anna peeked through a small window. 300 guests filled the pews, shifting restlessly. At the front, John stood near the altar, checking his phone repeatedly. Mr. Chen and Mr. Hassan flanked him, nervous. Ryan waited calmly by the minister, but Anna noticed subtle gestures, tiny signals to certain guests who were really agents. Cameras and projectors were already in place. The music below played soft background pieces, filling the awkward delay. He told everyone you had an anxiety attack, Megan reported. Anna's jaw tightened. Good, she said quietly. They're about to see the truth. The wedding coordinator hurried into the room, eyes widening when she saw Anna's transformed appearance. Shock quickly turned to respect. Your father insists we start now, she said. He says the guests have waited long enough. Anna straightened, feeling the crown rest firmly on her painted scalp. Tell my father we'll begin when the processional music changes, she replied calmly. And make sure the projection screens are on. We have a special presentation. When the woman left, Anna's Uncle David arrived to walk her down the aisle. He studied her quietly, anger flashing in his eyes. He did this, didn't he? He asked. Anna nodded. Then let's show him what real strength looks like, David said softly. The music shifted from soft filler to a powerful, steady melody. The church doors opened. Every head turned. A gasp swept through the room. Instead of a broken, shaved bride, the guests saw Anna walking proudly down the aisle, designs glowing across her scalp, crown catching the light. Her dress flowed behind her like a banner. Murmurs began. Admiration, surprise, confusion. Ryan's eyes filled with emotion as he watched her approach. John's face twisted from expectation to disbelief to rage. This was not the spectacle he planned. Anna held her head high. For the first time, she wasn't walking toward obedience. She was walking toward freedom. As Anna reached the front, her uncle placed her hand gently into Ryan's. "Take care of her," he whispered loudly enough for several guests to hear. Ryan nodded firmly. John stepped forward, clearly intending to regain control. But before he could speak, the minister began the ceremony with unusual urgency. "Dearly beloved," he said, voice steady, "today we witness not only a union of two hearts but the triumph of truth." John's head snapped toward him, eyes narrowing. This wasn't the script he'd approved. He opened his mouth to interrupt, but two men subtly moved beside him, agents in disguise. The ceremony moved smoothly until the unity candle moment. Suddenly, the projection screens flickered on. The first image displayed financial documents, transfers from John's company to secret overseas accounts. Gasps filled the church. The second showed emails linking John to criminal activity. The third played audio from that morning, his voice saying, "Everyone will learn what happens when my daughter forgets her place." John lunged toward the projection booth, but agents blocked him. "Turn that off," he shouted. But the footage continued. Guests whispered with shock. Some covered their mouths. Others stared at Anna in disbelief, realizing the truth. The screen switched again, now showing video from the study. The congregation watched in stunned silence as images of John forcing Anna into a chair appeared. They saw his partners holding her down. They saw him take the clippers. They heard her cry. An older woman near the front burst into tears. Several guests stood outraged. John tried pushing past the agents, shouting, "This is manipulation. Lies." But the evidence spoke for itself. Ryan stepped forward, voice firm and calm. "My name is Agent Ryan Carter, Financial Crimes Division. John Price, your crimes are exposed. Today, accountability begins." John turned purple with rage. "You used her. You tricked my daughter," he shouted. Anna stood tall beside Ryan, the crown shining under the lights. "No, Dad," she said softly. "You did this to yourself." Agents moved in, badges now visible. Ryan nodded to them. "Proceed." John backed away, shaking. "You're making a mistake. You have no idea who I am." Agent Tom replied, "We know exactly who you are." He listed the charges: money laundering, bribery, wire fraud, assault. John's breath hitched as handcuffs clicked around his wrists. Guests watched in stunned silence as the unstoppable man finally fell. As agents escorted John toward the exit, he twisted his neck to glare at Anna. "You'll be nothing without me," he hissed. "No money. No connections. No future. You'll crawl back." Anna touched the crown Claire made, her voice steady. "I'll build a better future without you." For the first time, John's expression faltered. Fear flickered beneath the anger. Guests parted as he was led away. Several whispered, "He did that to his own daughter." Ryan placed a protective hand on Anna's back. "He can't hurt you anymore," he murmured. "Not today. Not ever again." When the agents and criminals were gone, the church remained silent for a moment, absorbing everything that had unfolded. Then Uncle David began clapping slowly. Others joined. Soon the entire church erupted in applause. Applause for truth, for courage, for survival. Anna blinked back tears. The minister cleared his throat, voice trembling slightly. "Shall we continue?" he asked gently. Anna looked at Ryan, who held her hands as if anchoring her. "Do you still want to marry me?" he whispered. She smiled through the emotion. "More than ever." The congregation murmured in approval as the ceremony resumed. Their vows held new weight. He promised honesty and protection, and she promised trust and partnership. When Ryan spoke the words, "I will stand with you through every battle," guests nodded, knowing he already had. When the minister declared, "You may kiss the bride," the moment carried a depth no one could have predicted that morning. Their kiss was long, gentle, and full of gratitude. The younger guests cheered loudly, breaking the tension. Anna felt warmth spread through her chest. For the first time in her life, she belonged to herself, and to someone who chose her, not control. As they walked back up the aisle together, guests reached out to touch Anna's hand, offer blessings, or whisper emotional words. Several women stopped her outside the church, tears in their eyes. "Your bravery saved others today," one whispered. "I lived under a man like your father for years," another said. "Seeing you walk tall, it healed something in me." Anna hugged them gently. Mr. Chen's wife approached next, shaking her head in disgust. "I never knew the things he hid," she said quietly. "Thank you for exposing the truth. Many families will sleep easier tonight." The photographer captured a final image outside the church. Anna in her gown, crown gleaming, painted patterns glowing under sunlight while police cars drove away in the background. It was a picture of survival, one that would later appear in magazines and news stories. At the reception, applause thundered when Anna and Ryan entered hand in hand. The DJ abandoned John's rigid playlist and switched to music the couple actually loved. Their first dance began at last, and Anna rested her head on Ryan's chest. "You saved me," she whispered. "No," he replied, holding her closer. "You saved yourself. I just helped." Guests shared speeches filled with emotion. Megan described Anna's journey from control to freedom, making half the room cry. Daniel joked about Ryan's secret agent husband duties, then thanked Anna for trusting their family. During dinner, agents mingled quietly, still ensuring everyone's safety. A woman approached Anna hesitantly. "I worked for your father," she admitted. "He ruined my life when I reported his behavior. Today, you gave me justice." Anna squeezed her hands. "You deserved better." As the night continued, laughter and relief filled the hall. Instead of shame, the day ended with triumph, a victory born from pain.